Core 57, this is Coach Sara. I've been asked to put together a training video on how to do the kettlebell swing safely. I'm super excited because you know how much I love kettlebells. You can see I've got quite a selection behind me. I've also got some down in my garage, but I find this kettlebell to be the most effective tool for home training and also in the gym. You'll find that you get great conditioning with any kettlebell work. You definitely don't need to have a high impact workout with a kettlebell. A lot of the movements are based with our feet solidly on the ground, and it's a good full body. All of our moves with kettlebells are going to be challenging not only our shoulders and upper body, but also the core and the lower body and our mobility. So it's a great full body tool when we're putting together moves with kettlebells. You're gonna find you get the most bang for your buck. So for today, I wanna focus on the kettlebell swing, but I first wanna introduce the concept that you've probably heard in the gym before, but there is a difference between a hinge and a squat. So the first thing, with a kettlebell swing, you're using the hinge. And I want you to get familiar with what that hinge looks like. So the hinge is going to be coming from the hips, doing a fold right at that hip level, all right? So hinging is coming from here. It is not a bending of the knees. So a squat is going to take you down and up using more quad movement instead of the hinge, which is a fold, all right? So just put that in your toolbox for when you are doing that swing. The next thing I want to show you is the modification for a kettlebell swing at all times is the deadlift. So the deadlift, you are standing over the kettlebell, your feet are shoulder width apart, and you're going to use that hinge to drop your hands down to grab the handle. So fold and then grabbing for the handle. Now when I'm in this position, my shoulders are above my hips, maybe not much depending on how long of a torso you have. My shoulders are above my hips are above my knees. So that's set up with the handle inside the ankles, in between. We're gonna drive through those heels and come up nice and tall. So at the top of a deadlift, our spine is straight, we are not back, our chest is open, our legs are engaged, and then I'm gonna fold to take that handle straight back down. It's not out here where I'm trying to pull up from, because that's gonna come from the back. It's in between the ankles, returning to that position each time. This is gonna strengthen the hip hinge, all right? Keeping the hips high, don't let that squat happen in that move, all right? So first things first, make sure you have a good strong deadlift in your form, and then you can add to it with the kettlebell swing. So with the kettlebell swing, you're gonna hinge, we're gonna start a foot behind the kettlebell, feet shoulder width apart, same hip hinge, and here from the tip of my head to my tailbone, I want it to be neutral spine. I'm not rounded over. I've got my shoulders pressed down away from my ears. I have a nice neutral spine. Shoulders are above the hips are above the knees, and I'm gonna reach out and grab the handle. With the swing, I wanna make sure that my upper body is engaged in that pull back. So I wanna lock the shoulders down to engage the lats right underneath the armpits. And then we're gonna pull the bell back between our legs, and I'm just gonna bring it out in front. This is the first part of the swing, all right? So hiking it back, you're using the shoulders locked in place and a pull back with the arms. This is called a hike swing, and it keeps you low and really focused on the beginning part of that swing. So just as a reminder, neutral spine from the tip of your head to your tailbone, shoulders above the hips above the knees, shoulders pulled down, and then next I want you to think about your feet. They're locked in place, they're pushing through the floor, and my knees are pushing away from one another. That's going to engage the glutes for our next step, which is going to be coming up to the top position. So we're going to hike it back, then use those hips to push it forward and come back down. This is called the dead swing. So the dead swing returns to the front so that we can set up each time, shoulders locked down, knees away from one another, pull back in that hike, push forward with the hips, and then come back down. So the dead swing is a full two-handed swing, but we're starting over at each time so we can really dial in that start, coming up to the top, and then placing it out in front, keeping all of those components dialed in. So it really makes you focus on form for each part of it. Now we're ready, once you get the dead swing set up, that you're ready to go into a rhythmic two-handed swing. So the regular two-handed swing is going to be for a number of reps or for an amount of time. You're simply going to stay in that swing, letting the pendulum of the bell come through your legs, and you're going to come out to this top position, which is parallel to the ground. It might only be here if that hip strength is building. You might only get it to here, but we don't want it to go above shoulder level. So we're going to come back, set up, neutral spine, tip of my head to my tailbone, lock the shoulders down, press the knees away, hiking it back, good strong lat engagement, and then we're keeping that hinge happening and really developing powerful hips by pushing it forward to that top position. So adding here our breathing. We breathe in on the way back, out on the way forward, and we're going to keep that core engaged through the move. And then set it out in front safely. Then we relax, get ready for that next one. So it's a great way to get the heart rate up. Cardio is definitely a component of the two-handed swing. And then using all of those different methods, neutral spine, shoulders above the hips, hips above the knees, pushing the knees away from one another and gripping the floor with your feet. Get those lats engaged, pull back, and use this as a really effective tool to build strength through the whole body. It is a full body workout. So enjoy the swing, go out there and practice, look for it in your workouts, and you're gonna find it as great as I do. Thanks.